Hello, this is Robert from DSP Plug. What is something that you might have in your house that undoubtedly can cause a fire? This is Robert from DSP Plug. Hello, how are you doing? I hope you're having a wonderful day or night. Now, in front of me is a really nice tower. And as you can see, the face plate of this tower, the Be Quiet Tower, has the option of adding some distance from this plate on the top, and it allows cooling and what have you. But the large issue I find surrounding this tower is that it is quite deceptive. It is not necessarily designed um, for newer technologies like liquid cooling. But in contrast, if you were to use fans, this is not a bad tower. You could use very large fans. You could put two of them or three of them, depending on the size. And I think that could work quite well. Hot air does indeed rise. But nonetheless, do people consider the practicality and usefulness of front CD bays? I have an older Be Quiet tower, and one might consider that there are fans that can expel air outwards um, from a unit such as this, so as to allow uh, more hot air to come out. Because plainly, if there are no vents on either side, it becomes a hot box. And that is the issue. I know that there are open towers, and I think they are quite ideal. But there are many people like myself who have pets. I have cats. And when you're faced with that scenario, you begin to realize that you want to safeguard the environment for your pets. You want to ensure that they're not in any kind of harm's way. And with that said, if I was to use just fans, sure. But I still think this could get quite hot. Now look adjacent here, you can see curtains. And beside the curtains, you can see a CSA coated power bar. The power bar is a very good power bar. It's made by Bototech. It's not as expensive, I guess, as it could be. And there are certainly probably better power bars out there, but thus far I have not had a single issue with them, other than the normal stresses you might have by plugging something that wasn't built in the best way, overheating and what have you. But by keeping the power at Unity, it's pretty good. But the curtain beside it is really not a great idea, is it? Due to this, I've been looking at options, and I'm going to be getting flame retardant curtains, of course, because I don't want to worry about fires, and neither should you. I think the best placement for a tower, whether it be fans, whether it be liquid cooling, right, is near a window. And at my window, though I just cleaned it, now it looks dirty again. I have this great window fan, and it does an excellent job. Because I'm on the first floor, the apartment that I'm in is not necessarily hot, but upstairs, let me tell you, in the summer it is. Imagine if I was upstairs and with the same scenario, with this curtain, undoubtedly this bed right here, this lock bed, would have to be in a different locale. There is no way to avoid that. I would stress to people that because I work with people who sweep chimneys for my job, we also clean dryer vents. We clean ventilation. It is so very important to continue to clean those things and to consider what you can do to avoid fires. People believe it will never happen to you, but it can. And let me tell you, e-bikes are the last of your concern. Laptops, computers, that is one of the greatest issues. But let me show you a very simple methodology if you should have an e-bike so as to avoid that. You get yourself a countdown timer. You press toggle, and then if your bicycle needs a 4-hour charge, then you press on. And as soon as the 4 hours have gone by, it shuts down. No risk, all reward. Everything works like it should. Why is it that responsible people can't be responsible enough to avoid fires? And you know what? This company used to have CSA approved appliances, and now they don't. CSA standardization has become a bit harder, a bit more taxing. The amount of agents working for CSA is less. The amount of testing that they do is less. And because of that, and because of the stringent standards, it means that less and less companies are going to standards associations all over the world. And that is a sad thing. That is a very sad thing. But if you can find something cheap that will do this, then logically, there does not have to be any fires. There does not have to be any risk. And even let's say if you were to plug in a coffee maker, when I am not using this coffee maker, I put it away. And I very rarely leave the uh, the coffee pot on the heating element. I just turn it off and I put it in. I put the carafe in the fridge so as to reheat a little bit later because I'm only one person and it's very rare that I would drink a whole pot of coffee. This is Robert from DSP Plug, and please do consider that something as simple as a phone charger can lead to a house burning down. It was a real eye opener to me to hear this while driving with my fellow employees, realizing that in my own city, North Bay, this has happened quite recently, and people should be getting on that. People should realize that these sorts of scenarios, if entirely avoidable, are the very things that we should be avoiding. There is no reason why someone like myself should have to make a video like this, but life and so many things in the world bog us down. We ultimately have to remind each other, don't we? In the way of phone chargers, I might recommend a GAN. It's GAN technology for phone chargers. I prefer 35, 33 watts. for portable PD style and not the Qualcomm style charge delivery mechanism. I would recommend that you use a GAN device. I don't know much about GAN 2. GAN 2 might be pretty good, but as far as I know, GAN is a way of avoiding the kind of heat that is generated by silicon charging devices. You might even consider too, if you were to get a new charger for your e-bike that had such a GAN style charger, imagine the feeling of safety. Imagine the feeling of being assured that there is so much less risk of your house or apartment coming on fire that everything in life is simple. Why should it be boggling to do things in a simple way? This is Robert from DSP Plug. Bye bye.